The Autobots are going to kick some Decepticon butt in this video, and Optimus with the power of Megatron is going to blow your minds. What's up everyone, James here, and make sure to hit that like button. So remember in the last video I mentioned Daniel Warren Johnson is creating a connection between the Witwikis and Optimus early on? We get even more of that in the opening of this latest issue, as Optimus Prime and Sparkplug Witwiki reflect on their wars and share their experiences with each other. We see parallel flashbacks of those experiences, the horrors of war they witnessed, and the comrades they both lost on the battlefield. And in the moments of mourning their comrades, that grief quickly turned into rage, a rage that consumed them and brought death to those they faced on the battlefield. They both ask each other how long their respective wars were. Sparkplug says one tour and that was enough for him. Optimus responds his war has been going on so long that he has lost count, and it's still going. Sparkplug asks Optimus, who he points out comes from a different galaxy and has seen so much more of life than him, if war is always the inevitable outcome. I love Optimus's answer. He says, if only the light years I've traveled equaled the wisdom I've gained. But it is not so. I ask myself that question every day, Sparky. But then I see my reflection and see the very thing I'm fighting against. What I really love about Optimus's response is that it gives us a glimpse into his emotional state. We see that Optimus is a hero and leader who's been scarred by war and recognizes that in the heat of battle, he becomes like those he's been fighting against. Remember that because we will see that firsthand later in this video. Meanwhile at the Ark, the Decepticons have successfully rebuilt Teletran 1 using Skywarp's body. We see that his head and torso are a part of Teletran. I want to give a shout out to Soundwave Transformers 9987, who pointed out in the last Transformers video that since Skywarp is a part of Teletran 1, he is technically still alive. Now we get more Starscream disrespect in Soundwave. When Soundwave proposes that the next Decepticon they restore be Ravage, Starscream kicks Ravage's body out of Soundwave's arms while saying fat chance. I hope Soundwave kills Starscream. I hope he's the one to do it. Instead of Ravage being restored, Starscream grabs Thundercracker's body and restores him. The interesting thing that happens is once Thundercracker is revived, he is shocked and disgusted by Skywarp's current state and automatically assumes an Autobot is responsible. Starscream doesn't reveal that he is the one responsible. He just tells him to forget Skywarp and that he gave his life for the Decepticon cause. At that moment, Soundwave informs Starscream that Laserbeak is reporting that the Autobots have found their source of energy. Who we see next that has also been restored and suggests they get their energy is Frenzy and Reflector. Just when Reflector is about to ask where Megatron is, Starscream immediately cuts him off, telling him to focus on wiping out the Autobots. Notice how this is like the second or third time Starscream doesn't even want to hear Megatron's name. Now, besides him wanting Megatron to be forgotten, since he considers himself the new leader of the Decepticons, there is another reason why that we'll find out later in the video. The Decepticons assemble and leave to attack the Autobots. Returning to the Autobots, we see that the energy source Sparkplug mentioned in the last video is this hydropower dam. So it seems like the Decepticons figured out that instead of attacking numerous power plants and gathering energy that way, just take it directly from the source. Who we see next that has finally been revived is Wheeljack, but only half his body since the Autobots are still limited on resources. What he, Ratchet, and Sparkplug have created here is an Energon generating turbine. I really like that we see Wheeljack compliments how Sparkplug aided in the effort of creating this and praises his intelligence. That shows us that the whole Witwiki family are very intelligent. One thing I want to point out here that is a sign of how not only Energon but Cybertronian tech will influence Earth is Wheeljack informs Sparkplug that if the turbine works, it will fuel the Autobots but also power the entire town for at least a decade. The Autobots activate the turbine and see it's successful. Wheeljack tells Optimus they should get him fixed first, but Optimus refuses and insists their fellow Autobot warriors get repaired first. We see this awesome image of Optimus carrying RC's body. Shortly after, we see RC get revived and kind of get a glimpse of her and Ratchet having a close relationship. But before we can see more of their reunion, the Decepticons attack. Starscream quickly figures out that the Autobots' turbine is reviving their forces and orders the Decepticons to destroy it. Optimus orders the Autobots to protect the turbine at all costs, and for Ratchet to get more of the Autobots to the turbine. I love that we see him and Sparkplug fighting side by side. Starscream drops Reflector from the sky, who transforms and starts blasting away at Optimus while saying, "Prepare yourselves, Autobots, for instant suffering and And before he can finish the sentence, he stares down Megatron's fusion cannon. Optimus completely obliterates Reflector like that. Just one blast took him completely out. Early on, we see just how powerful Megatron's cannon is. And this is just a small tidbit of just how powerful Megatron could be in this Energon universe. Optimus then grabs Frenzy and slams his body against the railing of the dam. Optimus Prime is playing no games and is out for blood. I do wish though they weren't taken out so quickly, because I do think it was the perfect opportunity for Daniel Warren Johnson to showcase Frenzy and Reflector having abilities. Like, we know Frenzy with his sonic weaponry can induce panic and hysteria on Transformers, like we saw in the Autocracy trilogy. What if Daniel Warren Johnson had Reflector split himself apart to the photons, Spectro, Spyglass, and Viewfinder, just when Optimus was about to blast him to hell in order to dodge the blast? That would have been cool. We then see Cliffjumper and Carly side by side hiding behind cover while Thundercracker blasts away at their position. Carly gets hot-headed here for a second and puts herself right into Thundercracker's strafing run. He blasts the ground beneath her and Carly falls down the side of the dam before Cliffjumper can grab her. Everyone is in shock, and what happens next is amazing. RC runs up the side of the dam and says, "I don't know who you are, but if Optimus cares about you, then I care too." She transforms into her vehicle mode, which is a Lamborghini by the way. She drifts and opens the driver's side door and catches Carly. This was just so freaking awesome. Now Rumble sneaks up behind Cliffjumper, trying to catch him off guard again. But out of nowhere, a restored Jazz surprises him from behind with a shotgun blast to the ass. We then see Cliffjumper and Jazz fighting side by side. Man, Daniel Warren Johnson is just killing it with these side by side images. Starscream confronts Optimus on the battlefield about stealing Megatron's fusion cannon, which he weirdly calls precious. Even Optimus calls him out on calling it precious, and he says, "You sure this doesn't make you quake in your jets, Starscream? Last I remember, you were cowering in front of this very weapon." What Optimus is most likely referring to is something we will probably see in the Energon Universe special we're getting in May. It's going to have 3 original stories featuring the Transformers, G.I. Joe, and Void Rivals. Based on the preview images they released, the Transformers story is going to be the battle that took place on the Ark before the Transformers crash landed on Earth. That's where I think we'll see Megatron try to kill Starscream before getting jettisoned out of the Ark. Starscream gets pissed when Optimus says, "This is a constant reminder of what you'll never be." He goes to fire at Starscream, but Starscream quickly slips out of Optimus's firing range and starts blasting away with his null rays at the Autobot Energon turbine and destroys it. Just when he claims victory, Optimus meets his mark and hits Starscream with the fusion cannon. Afterwards, Starscream orders the Decepticons to retreat. Optimus, seeing that the numbers are now in the Autobots' favor and the Decepticons are on their back, decides to use this opportunity to finish off the Decepticons and retake the Ark. Now this is where Optimus makes a mistake. He is letting his anger, impatience, and the heat of battle state that he's in prevent him from realizing he should use this victory to rest and recover and really restore himself and the Autobots to full power. Before they leave, Carly stands in their way, telling them she wants to go. However, Sparkplug is against it because it's too dangerous. Carly argues though Spike's in a coma and she has no family left. She wants to see this to the end. Carly is kind of on a path of vengeance here, because remember, Starscream killed her father. But after the scare earlier, Optimus agrees with Sparkplug and tells her that she is basically family, telling her that she is precious to all of them and apologizing that she can't come. He says, Autobots, roll out, for Cybertron and for Earth. Cliffjumper secretly grabs Carly and hides her in his vehicle. Later, once the Autobots arrive at Hangar's Rock, Sparkplug sees the Ark for the very first time and asks Optimus if this is the vessel that brought them to Earth, which Optimus answers yes. At that moment, Sparkplug remembers saying goodbye to his son Jimmy before his space shuttle launch. Now, hear me out here, but what if this is Daniel Warren Johnson's way of hinting that the day the Transformers arrived on Earth, on the Ark, was the same day Jimmy's launch was, and the Ark destroyed Jimmy's shuttle as it entered Earth's atmosphere? That would be crazy. Comment below your thoughts on that theory. Suddenly, the Autobots get blasted. Out of nowhere, Optimus gets absolutely crushed by this green vehicle. The rest of the Autobots get attacked by more of these green vehicles. Ratchet loses one of his legs, and Jazz and RC get knocked back. Starscream gloats about how he planned on the Autobots following them, and with all the Energon they have and Teletran 1, he already restored his body and created new Transformers, the Constructicons. He says, Constructicons, merge into Devastator. Optimus Prime, heavily damaged, and Sparkplug are about to be crushed by this mighty combiner. That's the end of the issue. This was absolutely incredible. Now in the issue, Starscream called the Constructicons his new toys. I took that as he created the Constructicons like Shockwave did in the Marvel Transformer comics. Or they've already existed and they were just part of the Decepticons that were out of commission and he meant newly restored. But if Starscream did in fact create them, that is a nice change up when compared to his G1 cartoon counterpart who created the Combaticons. Either way, I cannot wait for the finale of this arc. It's going to be insane. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Transformers content. Be sure to check out my newest video of Cobra Commander or Duke right here. Other than that, have an awesome day, and always remember every day to transform and go beyond. Hey, if you would like to join the upper echelons of the Beyonders, where you'll receive an array of member-only benefits, consider becoming a Beyonder Knight by becoming a YouTube channel member like Leah Drake, or by joining the Patreon like Patreon members Justin Heverly, Ray Dude, and Draglogia5. A massive thank you to you all for your support of the channel. It's greatly appreciated. Links in the pinned comment below if you would like to join them. Other than that, see you later, Beyonders.